Let's jump into problem 22.3a. We're changing depreciation methods. Let's jump into it. I got a lot of thoughts on this one. Merit Rocks operates a rock crushing plant. The primary crusher was purchased on January 1st, 2028 for $760,000. It's got a 10-year useful life and a $60,000 residual value. It's been depreciated on a straight line basis. Okay, so first, just like little calculation you should be doing at the start when you read facts like this. You go 760 is our cost, 60 is our residual value, therefore our depreciable cost is 700. We're doing it over 10 years straight line, so that's 70K per year. Pretty straightforward. Early in 2031, after winning a multi-year highways contract, Merit concluded that the wear and tear on the crusher is driven by throughput rather than the passage of time. Effective January 1st, 2031, the company changed to the units of production method. Management estimates the crusher's remaining productive capacity, so not overall, but remaining productive capacity, is 2 million tons. So we're going to get a cost not per year, but per ton. And there's a revised residual value. It's $50,000. During 2031, it crushed 380,000 tons. Okay, so let's read the question. It says, state how the change would be classified and how to apply it with a one-sentence justification. Okay, when you change depreciation method, yes, you are changing an accounting policy or accounting principle, but it is driving a change in estimates. Remember, depreciation ultimately is an estimate, so we're changing an estimate calculation here. A change in estimate is changed prospectively. It's changed going forward. And why is it changed going forward? Well, when we bought the machine in depreciated straight line, we estimated our depreciation with the best information we had at the time. A few years later, we got better information and changed our estimate. So that's why it's changed prospectively. Okay, that was maybe more than a one-sentence justification, but there you go. Calculate depreciation rate per ton, depreciation expense for 2031, and prepare the 2031 adjusting entry. This is kind of interesting. The question says do 2031. In order to do 2031, we got to depreciate for 2028, 2029, and 2030 to get us to 2031. So we got to do 3 years worth of depreciation. Good news is it's straight line. It's pretty easy. It's 70K in 2028. 2029 and 2030 to bring us up to 2031. So it's straight line. So it's just 70K a year. And that means we've had 210K of depreciation so far. So where is our asset sitting? Our assets cost was 760. Our accumulated depreciation, this is as of January 1st, 2031, the big change, right? So that this has brought us up to January 1st, 2031. Our accumulated depreciation is 210 up to that point, and 760 minus 210 means we have equipment net book value of our rock crusher or whatever, 550, and that is our net book value of our piece of equipment. So on the day we make the change, we go, okay, I have this asset worth 550. What's the residual value and the expected life from now? Well, it's 550. The residual value is 50. So our depreciable cost, therefore, is 500. Now, we're not going to divide by a number of years because we're using units of production. We're going to divide by a number of tons, which is 2 million tons. Okay, so $500,000 divided by 2 million tons means the revised rate is 25 cents per ton. And so that's how we depreciate the thing. So then we go, okay, well, how many tons did we process? And we processed 380,000 tons. 25 cents times 380,000 tons means our depreciation expense this year is $95,000. And again, the math there was 380,000 tons times 0.25. That's how we got to our $95,000 depreciation expense, and that's how we answer this piece. Our depreciation expense, $95,000 on December 31st, 2031. Debit. Depreciation expense. Credit accumulated depreciation for $95K, and we've answered B. C says, what's the carrying amount of the crusher? Okay, well, the crusher was on the books on January 1st for 550. On December 31st, our cost is still 760, but we just credited AD by 210. Not by 210, but by 95. So what is it? 305. So 760, hopefully my math is right. Yeah, I think it is. Minus 305, it's 455. So that is our carrying amount. Last, calculate the effect of the revision on 2031 income before tax, comparing with continuing under straight line using the original estimates. Okay, so if we kept going straight line, we would have been at 70K a year, so it would have been 70K for 2031, and units of production says no, it's 95K, our depreciation expense. So the difference between the two is 25K, right? Depreciation expense is 25K higher under units of production, and if depreciation expense is 25K higher under units of production, income before taxes will be 25K lower. So that's the answer. Income before tax is 25K lower due to the change, right? Because we changed from straight line to units of production, that was the result. And there you go. Hopefully this was a good video. Due to that, I hope you'll hit me with a thumb or a sub. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. The next video in our series is right up here. And if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.